I watched my daughter on the monitor. She was sleeping in the car, and then I brought her in, and sometimes she does this thing where she'll take like 45 minutes to an hour to go back to sleep, but she does go back to sleep, and she's just in there, like going to sleep for like, or laying down for like a minute, and then like popping back up, putting her legs through the holes, playing with the blankets, has her bottle with her. Hope she goes back to sleep. She needs it. She was really tired. My family and I went out to breakfast this morning, and she was getting pretty fussy. And then we went to the bookstore, and she was really fussy in there. So, hoping she gets some sleep. But you guys are here to know about me, know about the book. But yeah, my name is Jonathan. I am a author now. Well, at least almost officially. I haven't officially published yet, but I do have my book. So I think I can call myself an author. That's a pretty surreal feeling. You know, ever since I was a young kid, I wanted to tell stories. I love having a childlike wonder. You know, a lot of people relate with sports, and they relate with, you know, I guess like normal adult things, you know, that you grow up into. And I don't relate with a lot of things. I relate with, you know, like my brain's constantly going, like when I'm in the woods, I think about like what's in the woods, you know, like I still have a very childlike wonder to me, you know, like what's in that tunnel or what's behind those trees, and you know, and I'm really glad and happy that hasn't gone away, and it's just like literally fed into the stories that I'm telling and going to tell. And I ever since I was little, you know, I would always draw, and I thought that I would have when I was drawing, I always thought, well, one day I'll grow up and be an artist. And for whatever reasons, I just didn't pursue that. I don't know. I didn't pursue that. And then I got into like videotaping. I had a Sony Handycam with those like little 8mm tapes. And then I'd create little, you know, scenarios and little short films. And then I got my DSLR and I'd create short films on that. And I thought that I wanted to become a filmmaker. And I still want to pursue filmmaking at some point. That's a very, very difficult thing to pursue, especially like by yourself, when you don't have a lot of help on hand all the time, or people around you that are into that sort of thing. So it kind of becomes like I have to probably like move away from where I'm at to find that, and I can't do that because I have a family and I love it here, so I'm not doing that. So then it kind of led me into this thing where I was working at a gas station, and I started writing short stories, and I wrote one called Aspen, and I might release this one day, and because I might do a short, not a short book, but just a book of short stories. And these are very graphic. I love horror, and I love all that mystery and stuff. So this particular short story was very graphic, about a young girl being murdered and kidnapped in the woods. And I started writing it, and I finished it. And something dawned on me when I finished writing it, and that I completed a short story. And it's one thing to think of an idea or a scenario, or, you know, just writing down ideas, but it's another thing, I should say, to actually complete writing a short story, no matter how good or bad it is. We all have ideas. And I have notebooks and folders and binders and boxes full of ideas. But I never really finished any of them. they're not complete stories. They're really cool ideas to me, or scenarios, or pieces of dialogue, but nothing in like an actual readable format that's like a complete story. So when I finished Aspen, I just kind of went on this whole thing about just like these like short horror stories, and I was going to release this short horror book that's incredibly graphic, and that's what I was leaning into. And then so I would just write these at the gas station, because the gas station, and this is at the time of, this is 2019 when I started writing Wisteria, and I started writing Aspen literally like right before, because there were elements, and Aspen isn't the first thing that I wrote, it's just the first thing that I kind of completed. So I was always thinking of different ideas, for short films. And then it occurred to me that maybe I can just, how can I storytell without anybody else around me? And that's kind of how I leaned into the whole writing and book thing. And then, so where was I? So I was leaning into the whole like really graphic horror stuff. And then I had this idea for Wisteria, which was, I love Stranger Things. And then, so I had this idea of these like group of monsters on like a city block, and no one knows what's going on in this, like, and it's very Stranger Things inspired is where I'm getting at. And like where there's the city block and all these kids live on the street, and that's kind of where the whole thing takes place. And then that's the original idea for Wisteria, was these kids investigating like these monsters that are like in the woods and around like their town, and that, and very heavily Stranger Things inspired. And then I was like, it's kind of too similar for me. I'm just kind of like, I need to kind of branch off of that and kind of think of something on my own that's really, my own. And then I started thinking about like my life, and I started thinking about impacts of different scenarios and things that have actually happened to me, that are personal to me, that I can write really from the heart and really from my own brain and creativity. And that's where Wisteria actually like turned into like this completely other idea and now book. Because I had the idea for Wisteria, and I had that name, and I knew I loved that name. And then this book, Wisteria, is set in a very primitive part of the wilderness in the valley. And this doesn't really give anything away, but this little part of the woods, known as Wisteria, is literally set at the edge of the earth. And that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to give any details away. This isn't that big of a book, so that's why I've really kept a lot of like the premise and stuff like that kind of under wraps, because I don't want to give away too much. I hate when movie trailers do that, and I hate when people give away too much, because then you ultimately, I think you end up becoming underwhelmed when you actually read it, or you kind of already went in with the expectations and it just kind of, and I just wanted to give somebody and people something that is unique and different, and like they don't expect a lot of what's coming in this book. But that's what Wisteria is. Wisteria is a small part of the valley. It's kind of a town, but it's not really a town per se. It's just this unique part of the valley. But yeah, and the main character is Claire, and she goes on this kind of like this once in a lifetime adventure from Christmas Eve into Christmas Day. And that's I'm trying to think of a way to like say things but like not give too much away, and I'm trying to refer back to the description that I actually wrote for Amazon and Ingram and everything. And basically this book is about our main character Claire, who goes on this once in a lifetime adventure, and there's a place in here where you can go to talk with the dead, but you can only do so once a year. You can only do so on Christmas Eve, and you send letters to the dead, and then on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, they send you a letter back. And that's really at the heart of this story. Now, there's an adventure that happens, there's things that happen, and characters that are introduced, and all of that. And this is book one in a series. I'm just not numbering the series. I don't want to do that because each one's going to be very unique and different. I think she just threw a bottle out of the crib. But, yeah, so this is the very, very beginning of a series of books. And right now I have at least 3 to 4 planned. And to give you kind of the gist of how this is going to, like I said, this is the beginning. Book 2 is already at least this size, and I'm not even halfway done with it. So the book should hopefully get a little bit bigger, but I don't think a good story should be bound to words or page count or none of that stuff. I think a good story is a good story regardless of how big or small it is. Because I've read some short stories that are actually better than some books. So, but yeah. So getting back to Wisteria, that's kind of, I took that name, put it into this idea I had for this whole talking with the dead idea. And then I knew how I wanted the book to end, and I knew how I wanted the book to begin, and then it was kind of like all filling out the middle, and that was difficult. That took me, like about, I'd say it's got to be at least 4.5 to 5 years, anywhere in between that time frame to write this book, and to kind of branch off and do the other ideas for the other books and stories and the second book and all that. So between, about, I'd say about good 4.5, 5 years, that's how long it's taken me to do this. But yeah, I've always wanted to become a storyteller, and now doing this and actually seeing my book in book form, it's pretty surreal. And this is a way that I'm able to tell my stories the way that I want to tell them, and not have to be bound to, is this person going to help me with a short film? Is that person going to bail on me at the last minute? I don't have to be disappointed with this. And this is no dig at anyone. This is just my experience over the years of trying to create short films, and them just not that they don't succeed, just that they don't come into fruition the way that I would have hoped. And a lot of them just go to the wayside, and their ideas just get kind of put in the notebooks and folders and stuff like that. And, no one's fault. No one's, I want to become a storyteller, and I want to be a storyteller. And I just don't want to have to rely on anybody else anymore. I'm not old, but I'm 36, and I want to start picking a very real focused direction of where I want to go in my life. And being an author is it. I do my Be Good stuff on the side. My little woodworking trinket type stuff on the side, and I think that's really cool too. But this stuff is this is where I'm leaning into a lot, especially lately. I don't know if she's gonna go back to bed. She's just up now. But I want to bring this kind of to a close. One thing I want to say, these videos are going to be very raw and real, just like this. I don't want to have to worry about dealing with the mic and the software and all the video stuff and the lenses and everything. I just don't want to deal with that right now. But I want to be able to talk to you guys, and the better cell phone technology has gotten really good, and I can record in HD, and microphone quality is decent. I do have a fan blowing on me because it's very hot up here right now. So I hope that doesn't fuck with the audio too much. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, these videos I want to be just like this, kind of conversations, kind of just very raw, real looks into my life, into my author journey. I don't want some elaborate setup, and maybe I'll get there one day. Maybe I will like that one day and get there one day. But I like this, and I noticed that these videos, like when I turn these into reels on Instagram and Facebook, these get a lot of engagement, which is good. You know, I want the engagement because I want to be able to interact with you guys, and I want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing. And you know, if I make a post about something, it doesn't really get any engagement. That's also another reason why I'm leaning more towards Patreon as well, because I want to create this YouTube channel, but then also lean into Patreon because they're very like super fan based right now. I've done a lot of research into like how Patreon's changing things and where their company is going, and they're very much focused on like the fan of whoever it is, and it's very cool and interesting where they're going with their stuff. But before I conclude the video, I just wanted to show off some of the merch so this hardback book will be available for $19.99 when the site goes live and when the book goes live. The paperback will be $12.99 and the ebook will be $3.99. So, and by the way, this is the very first proof copy. This is the not for resale version. The actual book won't have none of that on there. So, in fact, it might be just a tad brighter instead of so gray. But merch. I want to do sticker packs, and I'm still debating on pricing with these. But these three are quotes from the book. This one says, "They're watching us always." This one says, "We definitely don't want to be in the woods while it's dark." And then this one says, "For the first time, the woods became a very scary place." And this has more of a grayscale tree, whereas these have, you know, the dark and black one. This is actually in the book as well. It's right here. Let me show you guys. Right there. And then another really cool thing that I wanted to show off real quick with the book is that I added these in for, this book is dedicated to my father. And these pine cones in here, since this is set in the valley in the woods, you can kind of see that. These are pine cones right here. And they're kind of like scene breaks. And I thought, what better way to break the scenes up than to use pine cones, because we'd always go in the valley and collect pine cones, pick them up, you know, which ones are cooler than others, and put the other ones back, and maybe take one or two home. And we would just always collect things from the valley: rocks, leaves, pine cones. It's like God's gifts, you know. And might sound strange to some, but yeah, we would do that all the time, collect pine cones. And so yeah, I thought it was a perfect scene break. But anyway, sticker set, and then everybody who pre-orders my book or orders my book off my website, I'm still trying to work out all the details, but will receive a free bookmark as well. I don't know if you can kind of see that. I know the auto lock is like focused on my face, but I hope that you guys can see that. It's a bookmark. It says Wisteria down here, has an owl up here. This is actually one of the great characters in the book. And down here is publishing company Mangled Monsters. So it's a very simple looking bookmark. I was trying to go elaborate with these rounded corners and have them like a little bit wider and stuff like that. And it was getting crazy expensive. And so I went with these, and I'm very happy I went with these. These look great, especially for the price. These are awesome. This company's really, I'm definitely ordering more of these with them, and ordering it in the future with them. So yeah, got some of those ready. And then the other piece of merch that I wanted to show off is this. And I might do more merch, but I wanted to have at least a few things up on the site. So this is a wall print I don't know if you can see it. So, and this wall print is the cover of the book without all the details, with just the name. And that will be available on my website as well to purchase. So, yeah, wall print sticker set. Bookmarks are going to be on there, and then I'll have the book on there. So, just doing a lot of behind the scenes work on all this stuff. Pretty much got all this taken care of. Gonna have to do promotional photos for all this stuff and then put it on the website. And then I do have a issue with Ingram Spark I have to work out and upload my final version of the book. That's hopefully the final version of the book, because something happened where it got uploaded and I didn't want it uploaded, and I measured everything correctly, and then on their end it like didn't upload, and Wisteria was like way up here and like cut off, and I'm like, I literally did the dimensions exactly what they said, but that's okay. I downloaded their template, so hopefully everything goes good with that now. And then I was also waiting on the Library of Congress number, and that came at the very last second too, so I had to go in and put that in there. And so yeah, just a lot of behind the scenes work, a lot of like admin type of shit, stuff I'm not used to, stuff that I'm not gonna say doesn't excite me, but doesn't excite me that much. I like creating and writing, but creating this stuff is awesome. I'll do stuff like this all day. But man, it's been a hell of a journey to get to this point, to actually see my book come into fruition. Yeah, it's been a hell of a journey to get to this point, because I think, especially the people around you, you tell them that you're going to do something, and I think people most of the time look at you kind of like you're crazy, especially when you say, "Oh, I'm going to write a book one day," and but I did it, and it's here, and it's going to be for sale, and it's a pretty damn good feeling. But yeah, I just want to get on here, give you guys a quick, just an update and look at what I got going on in my life, and what's going on this week. Like I said, I got the Ingram Spark stuff, got the merch ready to go, so I got to do promotional photos for that, and then yeah, just working on the website, and that's really it with this book. And then it's off into the world, it's off into your hands and everybody's hands, and that's it. It's a done deal. So one thing I do want to do before I upload those Ingram files, though, is I do want to read this one more time, just to make sure I don't see any more crazy typos or anything like that. I've read this book probably like 50 to 70 times over and over and over again, and I don't think there's anything, but there's probably going to be something in there. So I don't know. We'll see. I might overlook it again. But yeah, I didn't know exactly how I wanted to go about starting this YouTube channel, but I think this is exactly how I want to go about starting this YouTube channel, is just keeping it raw, keeping it real, keeping it upstairs in the workspace, showing you guys my process as I do things, and as I, as things go and happen. And so yeah, hope you guys like this first video. I plan to release, I was originally going to do probably at least one to two times per month, and I don't want to overpromise, because that's something I've done in the past and it's not been good for me. I've failed at that a lot, so I definitely want to stay with the 1 to 2 times per month. But I also have a lot more content and videos and things that I want to share, like for instance, like the book trailer. So I'm going to be putting out, and it's more of a teaser than an actual trailer, but I'll be putting that out later this month, and then I'll also be making another video on something else this month. So there'll probably be at least 3 videos this month, but definitely 2. So I want to commit to the 2 for now. So if you see another video pop in, great. If not, I'm committing to 2. And then May is going to be probably a pretty crazy month with videos and stuff that I post, because I have a bunch of little like teasers that I have with the Wisteria name that pops up, and then I'm going to have the pre-order video, and then I'm going to have the release day video. So May is going to have a few more videos than this month. But yeah, hope you guys like this video. Subscribe if you want to see more content. Like the video if you guys like this. This is just my journey, and I'm sharing it, and I'm not good at this stuff. I'm not good at the whole business and social media side of everything, but I'm trying to become better. So trying to connect with you guys more, and yeah, hope you guys like this video. See you guys in the next one. Bye. Wait, before you guys go, I had to run upstairs. I went downstairs and I realized, because I rewatched the video, I didn't show you one of the stickers in the sticker pack. And it's this sticker right here. The actual just Wisteria name with the tree. So that's also in the sticker pack. I don't know. I just wanted to show you guys. Bye. See you in the next one.